Hello, I'm Dwight with Merit's Health Products. Today I'm going to talk about the E206 and E207 lightweight and heavy-duty lift for power wheelchairs and scooters. Please read and heed all the safety instructions that are in the manual that came with the lift. They are there for your protection. For the E206, you need to have a Class 2 hitch properly installed by qualified personnel. For the E207, you need a Class 3 hitch properly installed. When you receive your E206 or E207, it'll come in two boxes. One of them will have the tilt adapter assembly in it, and the other one will have the actuator and motorhead assembly. If you open up the motorhead assembly, there will be a bag in there that has your bolts, cable ties, all the nifty little things for putting it together. Please make sure the vehicle is on a level and flat surface, otherwise the installation will not go properly. First thing we're going to do is show you how to install the lift. What I'm going to do is show you how to install the tilt adapter for the Class 2 hitch and also the E206 on it. First thing you want to do is test fit the tilt adapter. In some cases, the spare may stick out so far on the back of the vehicle that you may have to use an extension to extend it out to make a good connection. You may also have a vehicle that sits so high or so low that you may need to use an adapter to make it go up or down, either one, so that it's at the proper height. So keep that in mind before you actually install it. Otherwise, you may go through the whole installation and have to redo it. The first thing you'll notice on the Class 2 tilt adapter is we have to put the nut inside of the tilt adapter and then slide it into the receiver on the vehicle. Since the nut is on the inside, we're actually going to put the lock washer on the bolt itself and then the regular washer, bolt in on the left side, and tighten it down. Got the bolt tightened all the way in, take the keeper pin and slide it on. Once it's tightened down with the nut on the inside, it makes a nice solid installation. You know, it doesn't shake at all. What we're going to do now is put the actuator onto the tilt adapter. The power head should come attached to the actuator. If it's not, just slide it over, wiggle it around to make sure it's locked into the gear train, and then tighten these 3 set screws. They're 120 degrees apart. The next thing we want to do is to hook up the battery. Normally you'll hook it up through the system in the vehicle. What we're going to do here for demonstration purposes is use the battery here. Next thing we're going to do is turn the unit on and run the actuator all the way down. Push the down button. Once it gets all the way to the bottom and either touches the ground or starts ratcheting, you stop at that point. The ratcheting will be letting you know it got all the way in the travel and it's protecting the gear train. Looks like in this case it's going to hit the bottom first, so we'll stop right there. Okay, now we're going to install the bolts. What we do is lift up the actuator. You notice this top hole here is inset, is big enough for the head of the bolt to go through. So the Allen bolt will go into the top one with no washer, and then a washer on the hex head bolt goes into the bottom. The other side, we'll install a washer, a lock washer, and the nut on both of them. And then tighten them all down. Next thing we're going to do is turn it on, push the down button, run it all the way to the bottom. Now we'll go get the scooter. Come in at an angle where you're lined up with the triangle, turn towards the vehicle. Next thing we do is push the up button and watch the triangle on the lift to make sure it engages with the triangle on the scooter bracket. Make sure it's locked all the way at the top. Once it's locked in completely, make sure the scooter is completely ready to travel. Move the seat back down, armrest down. This one will stay up. We'll take and lock the tiller to where it doesn't turn. Fold it down, tighten it back up. Take anything loose off the basket or anything else that might be loose on the scooter. And you're ready to travel. You're also supplied with a piece of reflective tape. You can put that along here on the side of the battery pack, any place where it can be seen by a vehicle behind you to let them know you have something sticking out behind. What I'm going to show you now is the E207 heavy duty lift. It's essentially the same as the E206 lightweight. The only difference, keep in mind that this has to be mounted on a class 3 hitch due to that different weight. First thing we do is put the tilt adapter into the receiver. Line the holes up. Put the bolt and the washer through one side, and the lock washer nut on the other side. Tighten those down. Next thing I'm going to do is put the actuator onto the tilt adapter. And like we did with the 206, you're going to connect it to the battery through number 10 wire through a 40 amp either breaker or fuse. In this case, for demonstration purposes, we're going to use a battery. You notice the 207 goes quite a bit slower than the 206. It's geared down to lift more weight. You also notice the receiver on the top is a little bit different than the 206. You'll notice when it reaches the bottom, it'll start ratcheting to protect the gears. They won't go any further, so it'll just stop at that point. Okay, now we're going to put the bolts in. You'll notice this is ran all the way down. You have to lift up a little bit. There's two, you notice on the right side, one hole is a little bit bigger than the other one. That is so the head of the bolt will actually go into it. On that one, we'll end up putting the washer on the other side, along with a lock washer and a nut. And we'll put the second bolt in, and put the bolt with a washer on this side, on that one, and then we'll tighten everything down. What you want to do after you get it mounted here is to make sure that it's perpendicular to the ground. If there is an issue with that, then this bolt right here can be moved into these holes to adjust it to where it is perpendicular to the ground. You'll notice on the chairs, the coupling is actually mounted on the back of the chair. Next thing we'll do is fold the seat forward, and then we'll turn the key on and bring the lift up. Make sure the actuator triangle engages with the seat bracket. Please make sure you turn the unit off and remove the key before leaving with the vehicle. We also have a handy cover that you can buy as an extra option to protect the motor head and keep it out of the weather. You're also supplied with a piece of reflective tape. You can put that on the bottom of the foot plate or any place where it can be seen so that the people behind you can tell you've got something sticking out behind your vehicle. In order to gain easy access to the back of the vehicle, a tilt mechanism is installed on the E206 and the E207. You see a T-pin on the right side. Push the button in, pull the T-pin out. You can tilt the actuator down, go around, open the back of your vehicle, get whatever you need out of it, close it back, tilt the mechanism back up, we insert the lock pin. Once the button pops out, it's locked in. In case you should happen to lose power, you don't want your chair stuck up in the air. So what you can do, there's a hand crank supplied with it. You'll see a little square on this end. You can turn that until it clicks into the engager, and you can hand crank the actuator up and down. Please note, as cautioned in your owner's manual, the vehicle may handle a little differently in windy or slippery conditions due to the extra weight in the back. So until you get used to it being back there, please drive a little more cautiously when on it.